I don't know, the first story that I think comes to mind was a patient that came in and he said he was positive for Hep C. I think there's about a 6-month window after you've been exposed that your body can fight it off, and that's called an acute infection. After that, the infection becomes chronic, and you can be treated for that now. So he had been tested twice, 6 months apart, so he knew he had chronic Hep C. We had a new person working for our little clinic team, and they were running the lab. And this person wasn't a Christian, they weren't following Jesus. And I told them in the very beginning of volunteering with us, I know that you may not agree with what we do or be totally on the same page, but try it our way. And our way of doing these things, of processing all this blood work and stuff in the lab, is to pray as you do it. Pray over these test tubes and these lab samples as you're processing them, as you're taking them out. Pray. And as you pray, ask God for a miracle. Ask him to stretch out his hand and to intervene right here in this way. This volunteer agreed to do that, probably not really expecting anything to come from that. It had been a number of weeks, and then we saw this new patient, did his blood work. I think she prayed over it. We sent it off and got it back, and there was no viral load detected. So I think I called the volunteer first, just to tell them, hey, God heard you, your prayers, and he answered them. This patient has been healed, and the disease that was in his body that was chronic, he was chronically infected with, is gone now. And that's something you asked for, and that's something God did because you asked. And I think that was the beginning of a series of events that really led that volunteer to make the decision to start following Jesus. And then I remember calling the patient too, being able to tell him, something that you had a lot of anxiety about, that you wanted to be treated for, that you've been living with for some time, something that's even the consequence of sin. God cares about you. He cares about your physical health, and he wants to restore you. He wants to put the pieces of your life back together, and this is part of that, and you've been healed. This is a miracle. That was a significant moment for him too, and definitely something he wasn't expecting, because he already knew the results. He had them before. So I feel like we have the privilege of asking God for miracles and seeing those things happen, seeing him heal people, change people's lives, and being able to walk through that process with them and seeing that change happen gradually, or just seeing prayers answered. That part of it has, I think our whole team would say, has done something for our faith. There's just been so many stories like that of ways that God has come through and been really faithful.